What is going on, folks? This is Acidic Roots. So I'm going to talk about some recent stuff that's happening with some TikTok deals as far as these fairs can happen. It's excellent type pitch to get this back in the format of it. Now, particularly in the past, talked about TikTok, Keith Holiday, my pumpkin buddy pitches like that. Some stuff where deals the Jack Lantern spook that you've seen. He particularly had talked about wanting to help out with TikTok. Some of these stuff. It's definitely within the pitch as far as I think the product of it, getting TikTok fleshed out is definitely a good thing. So it definitely feels like TikTok use in the future definitely feels like consistent kind of things of the product of the future as far as these fairs can have. I definitely think it's kind of similar to YouTube. Yeah, I would pretty much say more or less the way that YouTube kind of was in like the mid 2000s pitches like that is probably how TikTok is going to be when we start getting. I mean, considering I want to say it manifested like 2019, 2020, somewhere in there, some of those type pitches, but it's kind of fair as far as saying basically like the new red hot type thing within the pitch as far as this fairs can have. It's just kind of the pitch, but it just kind of feels like within the concept of it, there's still like some consistent kind of snafus of getting the things ironed out within these pitches. But it seems like it's starting to kind of happen within some of those type of ordeals. It's kind of the pitch as far as yeah, I think the product talking about in the past with what has kind of happened. It's just the main thing that the United States has a problem with TikTok is the algorithm as far as these fairs can happen, considering that ByteDance kind of owns it. So I was kind of thinking about that within some type pitches as far as like the fair. Like I looked up on Google some of the type formats as to why the United States has a problem with the algorithm from ByteDance and separate deals is because of espionage, possible espionage, and like the product of like the influence on like political things, pitches like that. It makes me question in the first place, just to kind of get towards some of these, why does TikTok have to be the influence? I just look over here, you could say, didn't like YouTube kind of do the same thing 20 years ago within Sunset Pitches? Just kind of fair as far as talking about within those aspects. I mean, all it takes is just watching a YouTube video, and there's probably someone out there, some sort of cluck, not to say some sort of cluck within the format of anything, but just the pitch you could find. I mean, YouTube has the variety to be able to find whatever you want. So it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, you just would have to question how easily influenced it would be to be able to have folks kind of have within that particular fair. You'd look after this as far as saying, if you were to see like a commercial against ink pens, is that going to make you want to go out and buy pencils? It's kind of the pitch as far as I would look after here, just be able to say, you see some sort of commercial and they're like, well, fuck this, don't buy. I mean, these are just like typical tactics when you think of bandwagon type things. If someone were to say, it's not cool to drink, 7 Up or something like that, are people just gonna say, yeah, I don't drink 7 Up anymore because like Tom Hanks doesn't drink it, or like Denzel Washington doesn't drink it, something like that. It's kind of the ordeal as far as saying you just would look within those aspects as far as those tones gonna go. There may actually be folks who would kind of be within those tangents, but I look after it, it's just kind of like me just saying within the pitch, what if Domino's hated Pizza Hut? It's kind of the pitch as far as saying, I mean, these things kind of exist. There are other type pizza companies within those ordeals, Domino's, Little Caesars, some of these type folks, Papa John's, all these folks, Papa Murphy's. Domino's could be like, for example, they could just be like, "Fuck those guys! Winning hockey players get the 2 for 20 deal. You're a loser if you don't." I mean, obviously, that's probably something that'd be more of like a television show. Those kind of tactics, like I'm saying within the pitch, is just fuck those guys, eat this or else. Some of those type of tangents was kind of the pitch as far as saying this makes you question why it would be within the concept as the influence being that easy, especially in political seasons. As far as this physically happen, I mean, I just question the fear of what particularly goes on in political season. Just because I used TikTok last year, and I didn't particularly see those ads whatsoever. I mean, you just had to say within those pitches, does TikTok even show ads? It's another type of fear. I just question how much people are really surfing throughout TikTok to really get within the variety as far as those aspects going to happen. You just would look within the pitch as far as saying what you should be concentrating on is starlets like Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter selling those pitches. It's easy kind of aspects within those tones as far as this pitch can happen. Just fairs like that. I don't know. I just look after within the tones. Just it's really a question how easily folks get influenced within those tones as far as this pitch can happen. I mean, yeah, just wondering if someone were to make a TikTok ad saying if they say fuck ink pens, whether or not that would mean that like somehow that business would take like a real toll or something. This makes you question. But just to say with politics, they're not too different from that either, from like television, some of those stuff areas. I mean, baby boomers and silent generation still continue to watch TV within some stuff aspects. So, I mean, that's probably what they said about television back in like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. Some of stuff areas just saying like this has influenced people to not want to vote. I mean, I think it's the same concept. Me not being around back in 1951 and 1961 Sunset Board deals was just the pitch first, and it's probably the product of what was happening. It's just kind of the newfangled, just working out the kinks of some of these stuff. As it seemed, I don't remember YouTube kind of having that particular conduct as much, but it's probably what happened within those pitches. Surprised TikTok doesn't tell more people to watch television because yeah, that's just all over the place, especially when it's political season. It's kind of that fair within the pitch. It's just kind of the product as far as it just you're gonna see you're gonna see the aspects of that everywhere as far as this pitch kind of goes. So I don't know what the difference between flip phone. Don't see too much of a difference between like flip phone type fair pitches like that and television type fair within those aspects. But to say further within these pitches, talking about bite dance, my pal Trollface wanted to say something about this, so I'm gonna let him step into the scene a little bit as far as these first gonna happen. Yeah, I think yeah. Hold on. All right, yeah. He's gonna go. He's gonna come show. He's gonna come. He's gonna come show up real quick and say a few things. So I'll allow him to have his word.